All right, so it's day 2 of the Music City Drum Show 2025. Here's our booth setup. We seem to always change our booth layout every year a little bit, and this might be one of my favorite booth setups. So this year we're specifically focusing on the Reverie handcrafted cymbal line that we are launching as of 2025. And these cymbals are made in conjunction. It's me and my 2 apprentices. So it's a little bit more of a brand. It has models and lines, and the cymbals are meant to get the different models are meant to get as close in sound as they can to each other. And then we have the TR brand, as you guys might know, which is the cymbals that I make, and it's a little bit more experimental. I usually am going based off of what I'm inspired by at any given time, making cymbals that inspire me to play in a lot of jazz and acoustic context, but also in heavier music as well. And we have drums here, but they're really more to stage the important stuff, which is the cymbals. Then lastly, we have the stack ring percussion side, which on this channel I don't focus a tremendous amount on the stack ring side, but it is the avenue through which I got into making cymbals. So I started by sourcing cracked cymbals and cutting them up and making little products, little stacks, and things like that. And then I was, introduced into the world of bronze. This is about 7-8 years ago, and I started practicing. I started manipulating the metal, seeing what I could do with hammering, and then eventually I got a lathe, and then multiple lathes, and then hammers, and then anvils, and all that. So the stack ring stuff has these kinds of sounds. A lot of fun stuff that can be put around the kit. I like to describe it like it's products that give you the ability to create electronic sounding sounds, but in an acoustic setting. So they're very, very useful. A lot of guys in the hip hop world, drum and bass, will use them, but also, standard funk. We even sell these Versa stacks to guys in the church world, and that sound is starting to make its way into church music, which is super cool. So beyond the stack ring, we have the cymbal world, the cymbal realm. I brought 2 splashes. I brought 3. One sold yesterday, but I haven't made very many splashes, but thought I would make a couple for the show. Glad I did. That's not really a sound I'm super accustomed to using in my gigs, but it's very, very cool, and certain people swear by it. So with the cymbals this year, this is day 2, so a fair amount of them are no longer with us, but on this yellow kit here, I put some of my favorites, so I wanted to highlight a few. This is a 22 1/4 Labyrinth, 2485 grams. Love cymbals like that. It's got a hand-formed bell, dark sound. Then we got one of the swang models here, which is it's basically my version of a sound control edge. So it's kind of an upturned edge. We're going to be doing a video on this, and I've got a whole batch of these that I'm working on, some heavier ones, some thinner ones. I'm really digging that sound. And then a model that hasn't really been fully fleshed out yet is one called the Acacia, and it's one where I'm utilizing much more of the unlathed crust on cymbals to create a drier sound. So this is a 20 that weighs 2154, which is, to me, kind of a medium weight ride. Got 3 rivets in it, but something like this is a great left side cymbal. So a lot more coming in that world. And then the hats that I have here are 13.5 labyrinths that weigh 857 over 947. And it's another thing where the weights are getting heavier so that the cymbals can translate better and be more functional in the gig. So that's a little bit of the TR cymbals, and then we got some Reveries. I'll talk through these briefly and then we'll wrap this video up. The Reveries are, like I said earlier, made by me and my apprentices, as opposed to the TR brand that's made solely by me. And this brand it's a challenge, and it's been really cool to dive into creating models and lines and cymbals that that are meant to kind of be, the different models are meant to be very close in sound if possible. And so we're in the midst of really dialing in what those are going to be. And I've said this in other videos, but we have basically 3 lines. We have the Foundation line, we have the Duco line, and then we have the Lab line. So the Foundation is kind of the more traditional cymbal line. It's medium, low shapes, fully lathed. It gives you a really classic sound that you can use in any genre. Then the Duco has this kind of dual finish to it, and so it utilizes unlathed crust to get a warmer, darker, drier sound. And then the last one, the Lab, is slightly taller profiles that have a good amount of topography on them, and they're a little bit more for that complex sound that can be used in a lot of different genres. Then the last designation is we have 3 weight classifications, 1, 2, and 3. 1s are very thin, 2s are medium, and then 3s are heavy. So let's see if I can find a 3 here. Yeah, this guy right here is a 3. So the 3s are heavy. And so that way any of the 3 models can be made to be more for acoustic music, or quieter acoustic music, or louder acoustic music. So I've been really loving the 2s, to be honest, and the 3s. So this is my 1-3-22 that I have left. So that's a Foundation 3. Here's a Foundation 1. And then with the Ducos, I got a couple 2s. And then the Labs, we got a 1 and a 2 here. And then beyond that, we got crashes, so 16-inch crash, 22-inch crash, and then a 20-inch crash over here. So if you've been following along, you probably know that the crashes, we don't, the TR brand, I don't really make that many crashes, because the idea is every cymbal is a crash, every cymbal is a ride. With the Reverie line, we're getting into more designated crash sounds, but the crashes can all be ridden on, but they are a little bit more washy. The stick gets overtaken when you dig in, but you can play them on the bow and still get a really subtle stick definition that could be used even in really, really thin environments. So that's a quick rundown of our booth for the 2025 Music City Drum Show. We love this show, and if you're ever in the Nashville area in July, usually they have them in mid to late July, come by, check it out. I haven't shown you the venue or the expo hall, but it is massive. There are tons of vendors here. This is the biggest they've had. They have a whole section over here for clinics and tons of booths. I got here early to film this video, but in about 30 to 45 minutes, it's gonna get real ruckus and rowdy in here. So thank you guys for watching. Please like the video and subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications. Please comment below. Have you been to the Music City Drum Show? Have you been to a drum show in general? It is quite an experience if you've never been to one, and worth checking out. It's interesting for us because we're in this hall for 8 to 9 hours, and it gets ruckus, gets loud, gets rowdy. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time. I'm Timothy Roberts. Check you later.